Hey, Happy New Year and welcome to this Minisode of the Dealer Playbook podcast. I hope you had an awesome holiday and are rolling into the new year with new energy, new perspective, and some goals or desires that you want to create and bring to life. Now, if you're new to the podcast, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the family. Here at the DPB, we're on a mission to enrich and empower automotive professionals around the world. So whether you're new or you've been here for a while, make sure, and you know what I'm going to say, make sure you've clicked the subscribe button wherever you're listening to this right now, whatever app you're using, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, it doesn't matter. Right now, do that so that you get notified when new episodes go live. Also, be sure to follow the Dealer Playbook on Facebook to stay connected with my latest musings and meanderings. And, lastly, before we dive in here, are you headed to NADA? If you're listening to this currently, when it went live, if you're going to be at NADA, I'm going to be there hanging out with my good friends at eBay Autos, and I would love to meet you. Come say hi, and you know what? Stick around for my presentation. I'm going to be presenting some really cool information right from their booth. Now, of course, if you're listening to this in the future, sorry I missed you. It was a great time. Anyways, this week I want to share something that has had a powerful impact on achieving my definition of success, and I really hope you find value in it as well. That's this week on the Dealer Playbook. Here we go. I know it's a new year, it's that time, so many of us are focusing on New Year resolution and all these sorts of things and what we want to achieve over the coming 12 months. Now, it's funny, I was reading a fitness article actually, which I'm going to post a link to, but it said something to the effect that January 18th, between the 15th and 18th of the month of January is when so many people give up on their goals. Like, think about that. Most people don't even make it out of the first month of the year. Like how unhappy that must feel. Well, I know how unhappy that feels and how unsatisfying that feels because I've been there. You get trapped by the motions, don't you? The overwhelm, the unclarity, and you just kind of fall back in line. It can be depressing. Well, I just wanted to take a minute to share something that has helped me. It's something I did just this morning, in fact. It's also something that I'm going to continue to do every morning. And it's something also that I've shared with my entire team and those that I consult with around the world. It's crazy how many people just kind of give up, right? They fall back in line. And so I want to share this with you. Hopefully in this mini-sode, you get some clarity on, maybe something you can do differently or implement into your daily routine that is going to help you just take things to the next level, because I would love nothing more than for that to happen for you this year. It's nothing revelatory. I'm going to be honest with you. It's the practice of manifesting what you want and why you want it so that you can map the appropriate actions to your desired outcome. We hear all these analogies about maps and running marathons and all these sorts of things and what it takes to actually achieve that. And it's really interesting to me, in my observation, how many people, just how many people don't take the time to be tactical, to plan. It's crazy how many people shoot from the hip. Now, I do this through my daily planner. And I'm going to be straight up with you. I have not purchased a daily planner in, years and years and years. What I've done, just because this is me, is I've created my own template. Like, I went into Google Docs and I created my own template. And in fact, I'm going to share it with you in the show notes, and I'm going to share it with you on the Facebook page. So definitely go keep an eye out for it there. But it's just a simple Google Doc template that I've put together that kind of works for me. It doesn't kind of work for me. It works for me. But I say kind of because it's in my own flavor. It's in my own style. And so it's not like this set in stone template. It's something you could grab, just swipe it, and make it your own. But for me, it's really simple in that it gives me a place to just stop, reflect, get clarity, and to determine, what my definition of success is, not just in my career, but as a family man and as a member of my church and my spiritual life. But it helps me understand the purpose behind my desires as well. One of my mentors, Great guy by the name of Jim Jans. Shout out Jimmy boy, James. Thanks so much, man, for everything you've done for me. But he's my mentor, and he used to call getting clarity and your purpose having a 99.9% why. He'd say, Michael, you need to have a 99.9% why, so that when you're encountered with 30% or 50% or even 90% obstacles, you'll still have enough of a motivator to keep you going, to pick yourself up, to brush yourself off, and to dominate. And so in my simple weekly planner, again, I'm going to link to it on Facebook and in the show notes. Something that I've done is just created this simple template that helps me get my focus in check, get my actions in check, get my purpose in check, get my gratitudes in check. So I want to walk you through this. It's powerful for a few reasons. When you open it up, you'll see on the left-hand side, it says, don't wait, dominate. You know what I'm saying? Represent. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate your greatness. Let it shine. Do something, right? Do it. Do it. And then below that, it says, this week's focus is. Now, this is really powerful because if you don't have clarity, enough so to just fill out a simple line of, hey, here's what I want to focus on this week, then maybe you need to hold off, right? Like if you can't just fill that out in one simple sentence, then you don't have enough clarity to get it done. So hold off on that until you do have clarity. That's something that I love about this practice is it's not just about like, do this, do this, do this. It's about really taking the time. Something that so few of us do is take time to think things through. Well, it cannot be tactical. Okay. Chaos, like for me, this is my opinion. Out of that level of chaos, you must find order. Okay. And that's what this does for me. So the first line says this week's focus is, and then it's just a short line that you can write what you want to accomplish. Like what is the main thing you want to get out of this week? That's followed by 5 days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, for me, again, this is my thing. I've strategically left Saturday, Sunday out on purpose. Why? Because I already know what I'm going to be doing on those days. I'm going to be spending time with my wife and my children. I'm going to be spending time focusing on my spirituality and going to church and participating in activities through the church by visiting the poor and the needy, mourning with those that mourn, comforting those that stand in need of comfort. That's very important to me. Now, some of you might say, well, can't you do those things every other day of the week? Yes, and as a matter of fact, in my evenings, I do. And some of those things go on my Monday through Friday schedule for the each day. But Saturday and Sunday, I know I am setting aside that time. It's also the errands day. Come on, let's face it, right? Costco, Target, Walmart, like all those sorts of things. Kids need new gloves, kids need parasol, like all that kind of stuff. That's my Saturday and Sunday. And I also know that when there is time, if there's a lull, it's also when I do training. It's when I up my knowledge levels. Maybe get a certification or work on a certification or something like that. So it is like there's still moments there, but I know that that's what I'm doing. Like I've just become very repetitious in my routine. So that's what I do on the weekends. So that's why I leave them off. I want to focus on maximizing my efforts through the work week when my colleagues are at work and in the office, and just being very strategic and tactical with how I'm spending my time. This is one of the reasons doing this. This is one of the reasons why I've accomplished more by 10 a.m. than most will in 3 days of the week. Some people look at me and they go, how's he doing all these things? And I'm like, bro, I haven't even turned on the engine yet. I haven't even stepped on the gas, man. Where's the seatbelt? I haven't even located the seatbelts yet. Like, so for me and my own, goals, ambitions, and desires, even though this helps me accomplish more by 10 a.m. than most people will in 3 days, according to my own definition, I don't even feel like I've scratched the surface. So this helps me with that because it allows me to get so much clarity. When I have clarity in my focus, it's funny how the actions you take, you become much more tactical with those actions. You're only going to take actions that matter most. You're going to stop spending your time wasting your energy on crap that doesn't matter. And you're going to make sure that every action you take in some way, shape, or form very clearly maps to what you want to accomplish. So that's the left-hand side Again, if you've grabbed this and you're going through it with me, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. Now, on the right-hand side, the first line says, how I want to feel this week. Okay? How I want to feel this week. This is very, very important to me. How do I want to feel this week? On Friday night, when I sit down with my kids and we watch our movie, it's movie night at Palazzo di Cirillo, right? How do I want to feel? Do I want to feel like, oh man, I didn't get enough done? Do I want to feel like I was chipping away at an ice block trying to sculpt it and it just kept turning into a bigger ice block? No. And so for me, I'll share mine. I want to feel optimistic. I want to feel happy. I want to feel confident. Well, it's interesting. When you look at this week's focuses and contrast it against how I want to feel this week, it is amazing how your actions, you'll take actions that will allow you to feel that way. You know what I mean? It's cool. Right below that, gratitude and purpose. This is what am I grateful for and why? You know, back in the day when I struggled with a very deep, dark depression, and I think I've touched on it a little bit here on the show, but back in the day when I just, it was a dark place, man. And one of the things that really helped center me, ground me, anchor me, was not just saying what I'm grateful for, because it's very easy to be superficial with your gratitudes. Oh, I'm grateful for this podcast. I'm grateful for microphones. I'm grateful for, refrigerators. Like, I don't know, whatever it is. I'm grateful for my job. Like, it's one thing to just kind of superficially say those things and convince yourself, well, yeah, I am grateful for those things. It's an entirely different activity and an entirely different outcome when you go, okay, I'm grateful for these things, and here's why. I am grateful for this microphone because it makes me sound sexy. I'm grateful for this podcast because it's allowed me to meet some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my entire life. And that enriches and inspires me. You guys inspire me. I love that. That's why I'm so grateful for this podcast. I'm grateful that I feel good today because it motivates me. It gives me hope. And I love the feeling of hope. Who doesn't like to feel hopeful and optimistic? You know what I mean here? So you've got space here to write some things that you're grateful for and why you're grateful. Below that, the overarching 5, between 1 and 5 things you want to get done this week. And so here's an example, right? Like, get taxes to the accountant. Like, get my taxes over to the accountant. I got to get that done. It's got to be done by the end of the week. Which means that, on the day of recording this, I also need to print off some of the receipts that I'm missing. You see, so my to-do list for the week maps to the to-do lists in each day, maps to, getting that out of the way. That's going to make me feel happy because it's out of the way. It's done. Doing it the right way makes me feel confident. You see how these things all map together. Below that is the macro. What do you want? What do I want? Think about that. What do I really want? This is interesting, okay? Because in a day and age when social media is so in our faces, when the perceived success or happiness or whatever of those around us, right? I've said this on past episodes, the best parts of people's fake lives. Now, I'm not suggesting everything everyone posts is fake, but it's kind of become that way, and that can overwhelm people. That could cause you to be unhappy. Well, sitting down and going, what do I want? And manifesting that, very clearly manifesting that, it's interesting how quickly you stop caring about what you see others do. It's like, do I really want what they want? No, I want my own, man. I want mine. I want my version of it. I don't want their version of it. I want my version of it. And that grounds you. What do you want? So taking the time. And then, of course, followed up by why. So getting even more clarity, even more understanding that it doesn't matter what you see others doing. It matters what you do. It doesn't matter what you see others creating. It matters what you create. It doesn't matter what perceived strengths or weaknesses they have. It only matters what you do for yourself, for your family, and for the people and the things you care most about. And so that's a practice I do every single day to ground me, to help me get clarity, to map my actions to my definition of success. Something I love about success Okay, like back in the day, success to me was something that seemed so unachievable. Why? Because the success that is kind of thrown down our throats, force fed to us, is big house, fancy car, private jet, lots of money, unlimited amounts of money, and blah, 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 blah. And that's not to suggest that if you have a goal for those things, that's not wrong. But here's the beauty of the definition of success. If you look up the definition, it'll say something in some way, shape, or form along the lines of a favorable or desired outcome. Well, the beautiful thing about success is where we think it's this scarce resource that is tapped and dwindling, and only a select few can have it. Well, guess what? A favorable and desired outcome, everybody's got one of those. Everybody has a favorable and desired outcome. Every single one of us. And each of our favorable or desired outcomes are different, which means that success is not a scarce resource. It runs abundant and it's available to you. What I want is perhaps not what you want. Okay? What you want is perhaps not what I want. The brilliant thing about having your definition of success locked down and clear is that it is yours and yours to achieve, and it's available to you, and it's abundant, and there's so many tools and resources available to you. Take the time to do this. Check it out. Again, it's just a Google Doc, so you could make a copy of it and make it work for you. But this is something that I do every single day. It's something that I know has had a profound impact on my life. There have been moments in time when I have not practiced this. I've actually let it go. I've let it slip. And you know what's interesting about that? As I sit and think about it, I go, holy smokes. It would be easy enough for me to be like, yeah, but so many cool things are happening in your life. You've traveled all over the world. You've spoken at a lot of different events and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And the podcast has done so many cool things and your business is growing and blah, blah, blah. But then when I really take time to think about it, you know what I realized? I realized that those things that are happening or were happening in those times were the residual compounding effect of when I was manifesting my goals, dreams, and ambitions regularly. Like, those were the cause and effect, right? Everything in life is, there's a causality. And I realized that those things were happening because at one point I was practicing this daily. And so I reintroduced it into my life. And sure enough, so many incredible things happen. I want the same for you. I want you to achieve your definition of success. Do I want you to achieve it more than you want you to achieve it? Probably not. But man, I would love for you to do anything and everything you possibly can to achieve your favorable and desired outcome. That's the mission of the DPB, to enrich and empower automotive professionals all over the world. I hope you got value out of this. Go check it out. Leave your comments. Maybe there's ways that I could improve it. I would love to get your feedback as well. And let's all help each other rise above the clutter and dominate. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next week on the Dealer Playbook Podcast.